Hey everybody. A few people have been asking for a rig rundown. Is a very messy garage setup rig rundown. Yeah, I guess signal flow. I've got the microphone going into the TC voice tone GXT. It provides a bit of reverb as well as harmonies and like a few different sorts of harmonies, but I mostly stick to this third and a fifth sort of one, and also the octave up and an octave down, one that just sort of fills out big choruses. Whoa! That sort of idea. We'll turn that reverb off again. From there goes into this AB switch, then into the RC600. So I only record mic 2, or one of them gets recorded onto loops and the other one doesn't. So if the light's blue, it's not getting recorded onto loops. If the light's yellow, it is getting recorded onto loops. So I'm using both mic 1 and mic 2. Which is a bit annoying because I have to have effects. I've got a panning delay over here on this foot pedal. And if I want it on mic 1 and 2, that takes up 2 input effects slots. Powered off this engine room. Seems fine. So that's the mic. It also needs a line out of the TC pedal. Well, a line in from the guitar as well. So I use a Helix over here. So I've got a line out going out from the Helix into the TC. That way I can do harmonies built on the guitar chords that I'm playing. Just while I was over here, I'm also doing MIDI from the RC600 to the Helix so that I can get a rhythm going on the looper, and that the delays and things on the Helix stay in sync with that automatically, which is great. The Helix, and I have a hand sonic up here as well. A Roland hand sonic, which is really great. I use it for all the drums and percussion sounds. I have some real percussion as well. A shaker and a tambo. I have an iPad up here which has my Restream chat and a low battery and on song on the left, Restream chat on the right, and I also can see my request list there on the right. So I've got the RC600. It's kind of standard along the bottom. I've got tracks 1, 2, and 3. Start, stop, start, stop, stop, stop. I use record overdub. I find I get smoother ends and starts of loops if I use record overdub. Tracks 2 and 3 are set up in single mode. So I usually do track 1 drums, track 1 and 2 verse chorus. I have up the top track 4, which I use as extra stuff. Quite often I'll have a chorus harmonies or something up here if I want to bring them in and out. If I want to loop them first, or extra, like if the snare only comes in the chorus, I might put the snare up on that track. I have this extra one down here, which I don't like where it is, but I'm not good enough with pedal boards yet to be able to put a little riser and fit it up there somewhere. It's my track 5, and it just does 1 bar of, I use a shaker or a ride on that track, and it just records for 1 bar and then stops recording. Well, goes into overdub. So if I have something like, doof, 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 and then doof, 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 That also has a stereo expander on it. A little trick I picked up off Matt Bolton for that track. So I can just bring that in, that little bit of extra stereo width and drumming on particular tracks. That's all I'm using on that pedal at the moment. So I've got a couple of buttons spare that I haven't used. The Helix and the Hansonic go into the mixer, sorry. I do everything stereo, so just a lot of cables and twice as many if you do stereo for everything. So they go into the mixer, out of the mixer into instrument 2. So they kind of get treated as one, the drums and the guitar. I'm only ever playing one of them at a time, really. I can do input effects. I've got a panning delay on that input so that it works on the guitar or the drums, and I don't have to use 2 input effect slots. And then out of the RC600 back into the mixer, and then out to the front of house from there. At the moment, you can see I've got a NUX transmitter coming out of the headphone slot there. That's a brand new thing for me. So I'm using these NUX in-ears. I've only tried them a couple of times. Getting the occasional little bits of cutout and things, but they seem okay for practice at least. And I'll let you know how they go in a real gig situation. I do have a keyboard set up right at the moment. But I'm very basic with a keyboard and I can't be bothered setting it up for live gigs most of the time. So I'm just got it set up while I'm having a bit of a practice. The FS7s, I've got all start, stop. My radio voice button here. And over on this side, I've got my low pass filter. And my mode switcher for the RC600. I don't really do much on the other modes at the moment. Right at the moment, I've got it set up so that I can just add in a hi-hat to basically get the tempo of some songs if I'm not that confident on getting the tempo. So basically like a metronome. So I can just start the track like that and then bring in the drums and whatever. So I've got, mode 2 I've got set up as a bit of a rhythm section. Not much on mode 3. I've got a vinyl flick on there, but I keep forgetting to because I have to page over to that mode. I forget that it's there and hardly ever use it. But maybe I'll put it down on one of these spare buttons down here. This button 9 is undo redo. I'd love to not have to have a button for undo, but it's just so handy if you make a mistake to just tap that really quickly then instead of holding down to undo something that you've done. Maybe when I stop making mistakes, I'll be able to free up that button for something else. Yeah, right. I think that's about it. Please put any questions you have on the pedal board down in the comments. Talked about the pedal for delay. I have a page flip over here. The Helix, let me know if you want me to do a video on that, but it's a guitar pedal board. I use it for acoustic, I use it for electric. Giant, but built like a tank. It's cool. I also use NUX wireless for guitar as well. Haven't had a problem at all with those. Absolutely fine. Over there you can see my lights. I use Chauvet Freedom H1s. They're very cool. Got magnets on the bottom. You can just stick them to things. I've got magnets on the top of my Evolve EV50s. And I just stick them on there usually and then put some behind me. You can see them on my check out any of my live streams. And that's about it. So yeah, please let me know if you'd like to see any videos on anything else. Okay, bye everybody.